Greetings, humans. It's me, Bob Harris, senior editor of FootballDiehards.com. Time for the Week 7 injury review, preview, update, overview thing. Something we like to do every week to help you set the table. If you've been busy or hectic week, whatever, you can come here, check out this relatively short video, and we'll get all the things that need to be on your radar. Then you can go to the site and look at the headline, the late-breaking update section for all the very latest detailed information. You can go to the staff rankings, the staff cheat sheet page, and look at all your individual players and get links to all the latest developments for them as well. So plenty of ways for you to keep on top of things. This is where we start. Bye week teams: Ravens, Colts, Dolphins, and Vikings. The Dolphins will come off bye, and Tua Tagovailoa will be the starting quarterback. They've made that call earlier this week, so Ryan Fitzpatrick benched. He was a little surprised, but they're moving forward. Also, COVID issues this week. The Raiders-Buccaneers game was moved from Sunday night to Sunday, the late afternoon window, due to positive COVID testing. Trent Brown, the offensive tackle, is out this week. 4 other offensive linemen have been isolated. They could return today. The Saints, Emmanuel Sanders is out for this game. He's on the reserve COVID list. So we'll be watching this one closely. There's testing again today and tomorrow, but as of today, as of this morning, all the testing had been good. So both games are set to be played as scheduled. The Raiders and Buccaneers in the late afternoon window, the Panthers at the Saints in the early afternoon window. So now we'll run through the injury issues and get you up to speed on all those and let you know where they stand. As always, things can change, right? This is the middle of Saturday. I'm recording this, so if there's players of interest I talk about, make sure you check the site to make sure there are no developments or changes. Any major changes, we'll put a note in the splash page to this video, so hopefully you'll see that as well. For the Saints, hosting Carolina, Michael Thomas is out again. This time it's a hamstring injury. He tweaked his hamstring in practice on Wednesday. Remember, he'd had the high ankle sprain suffered in week 1. He was benched in week 5 prior to last week's bye for punching a teammate. So all kinds of issues going on with him, and some chatter this morning. I have an article up in the headline and the update, a late-breaking update section that talks about this. Some league insiders rumblings about possibly the Saints being willing to move on from him in a trade, but very preliminary stuff. And Sanders is out as well, so Traquan Smith climbs up the radar. Alvin Kamara in a great matchup. Jared Cook playing well. I have an article again on that early Saturday morning that kind of outlines all the possible options there. And so check that out. On the other side of the ball, Curtis Samuel's listed as questionable with the same knee injury that kept him out last week. He's been a kind of an integral part on third downs. They missed him last week against the Bears. We'll see if he gets back. Keith Kirkwood, the guy who stepped up in his absence, injured his clavicle. He's done for the year. Green Bay Packers traveling to Houston. Aaron Jones turned up with a calf injury. I think it happened Thursday. They held him out Friday. He says it's very minor. But we've kind of see they have a tendency to play at caution with the soft tissue injuries. They did it with Devontae Adams. So this is a pretty easy matchup. Texas defense not that tough, which is why we want Aaron Jones to play, right? Robert Tonyan also dealing with an ankle injury. He hurt it last week, came back and finished the game. He's questionable. We'll see if he goes or not. So one thing, the Packers will be traveling today. I know they took Devontae Adams to New Orleans the week they held him out. So it's, because he travels doesn't mean he's going to play. But if he didn't make the trip, we'd have some clarity there. So again, check the main page of the site to make sure he made the trip. Jordan Akins on the other side of the ball, questionable again, but he did not practice all week with the ankle and concussion issues that have kept him out the last 2 weeks. Darren Fells has filled in capably. That'll be a game time decision. Not so much a game time decision for Joe Mixon against the Cleveland Browns. He's been ruled out with a foot injury. Giovanni Bernard moves up in the rotation. We'll likely see maybe a little Samaje Perine. Maybe Travion Williams will get his chance as well. But Gio Bernard's first man up with Joe Mixon out. He didn't practice all week. He came back and finished the game last week, so I don't think this is a long-term issue. On the other side of the ball, Austin Hooper is ruled out this week. Probably missed next week. Had an appendectomy. Got a case of appendicitis. So there's that. Everyone else is off the injury report. Baker Mayfield off. Kareem Hunt off. Jarvis Landry off as well, so good to go there. New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills at home. Sam Darnold should return barring setback. He's listed as questionable, missed the last 2 games with a shoulder injury. Joe Flacco standing by as needed. Jamison Crowder turned up with a groin injury. He suffered on Wednesday, felt tightness. Didn't seem that bad. Then they held him out Thursday, so it's one to watch. Denzel Mims could return from IR this week. Haven't activated him at the time I'm recording this video. You might want to check on that. If they could get Mims back and they get Crowder on the field, and they have Rashad Perriman back, that would be their anticipated top 3 heading into the season, so maybe they're getting healthier there. Kicker Sam Ficken is doubtful. They have a practice squad option available. That doesn't mean you need to go there, but check the late breaking update section to make sure that change has or has not been made. Best advice, avoid the Jets kickers. Jets don't score a lot. Other side of the ball, John Brown ruled out with the knee issue. He played last week on the knee with the same injury and didn't play well, was shut out. Dawson Knox will miss his 2nd straight game with a calf injury. The Dallas Cowboys will be hosting Washington will be at Washington playing the football team. Isaiah Wright and Antonio Gandy Golden have been ruled out for this game. It's a great matchup, obviously, for the football team's receiving core, Terry McLaurin in particular. Other side of the ball, everyone's healthy. The offensive line issues are the big deal there. And Zach Martin, I think, the latest to be ruled out with a concussion. So Ezekiel Elliott knows he needs to hold on to football. I have a big article up on that in the late breaking update section. Check that out. Pretty good piece. And just about his general production or lack thereof, and what we can expect from the receiving core going forward with Andy Dalton in there. Late afternoon window. Mentioned the Buccaneers and Raiders have been moved there. For the Buccaneers, everyone's pretty much off the injury report. They're clear, so Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, all the guys were on. Also, they signed Antonio Brown. Guess who saw that coming? Tom Brady really pushed for it. Brown's about 2 weeks away from playing, right? So don't get too excited about this. It's like week 9. I think his suspension runs through week 8, and then he'll have to go through the COVID protocols, and then week 9 be available. So, but look, Tom Brady was pushing for this. So, and the Bucs had talked about it earlier in the year, like they weren't interested. Now they are. So, it's worth noting, right? Antonio Brown's a pretty good player still, so of interest. Anyhow. So no real injuries or issues in that game. A note other than the Raiders, Bryan Edwards is out with the foot and ankle injuries he's been dealing with the last few weeks. He's missed a couple games, and so we'll see when he gets back. But everyone else is, except Trent Brown, the offensive lineman, who's on the COVID reserve list. The San Francisco 49ers are at New England. Jeff Wilson is listed as questionable. Raheem Mostert is out, so the top 2 backs there are likely to be Jerick McKinnon and JaMycal Hasty. A little talk that Tevin Coleman has a shot at returning next week. Mostert was placed on IR, so he misses at least 3 weeks going forward. Julian Edelman listed as questionable for the Patriots. Kind of been an ongoing maintenance thing for him, so no worries there, at least in terms of his availability. Worries about his production? Yes. And we'll see if that changes. Sammy Watkins out for the against the Denver Broncos in Denver. Supposed to be a snowy day there, cold and snowy. So Watkins out with the hamstring injury. No surprise there. Demarcus Robinson was the guy last week who stepped up. McCall Hardman, Byron Pringle, everybody's in the mix. You want to stick with the core 4 there. Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I know Hill hasn't been as productive. And yes, Le'Veon Bell has been signed. Yes, he could play this week. Wouldn't expect a huge role. Andy Reid's latest comment on Friday was, maybe he's ready for a few snaps. This is obviously going to be a situation that Edwards-Helaire investors are going to be concerned with, so we'll be watching it going forward. The early indications, though, are pretty clear. Thunder and lightning was the words Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator, used. Upon signing Bell, Andy Reid said, we don't want our little guy taking the pounding. Edwards-Helaire, not a big player. Upon arrival, Andy Reid's comment on Bell, he's a big guy. So if you're worried, hey, I'm going to lose out on all those touchdowns, well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't have those. So you're not losing out on him. He's been very productive. We'd love to see the touchdown upside, but maybe Bell is going to steal some goal line work. Could start this week. Not necessarily a lock. That'll be something we'll be watching right up through kickoff. For the Jacksonville Jaguars are traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. Tyler Eifert out, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark off the injury report. They're not playing well. Josh Lambo, the kicker's back, though. That should be good news. Justin Jackson listed as questionable. Seemed to have taken control of that backfield right when we saw last in New Orleans. But he's questionable. He did practice fully Friday. I'm guessing that he'll be fine. Joshua Kelly's still in the mix there, but has been a little disappointing and has some fumbling issues. Keenan Allen off the injury report. He's good to go. Had the back spasms last we saw. Missed the second half. So everyone's good to go there as Justin Herbert has another really favorable matchup against the lousy Jacksonville defense. Sunday night's games. DeAndre Hopkins listed as questionable with the ankle injury. He doesn't miss a lot of games. This is a lingering issue. The Cardinals held him out of practice all week. Cliff Kingsbury said they kind of want to nurse him through the bye and hopefully get him a full week of rest. So they're going easy on him in practice. It's a great matchup also for the Cardinals. Seahawks pass defense struggling. On the Seattle side, Jamal Adams, the only name of interest on the injury report. So should be a good Sunday night game, high scoring, hopefully. Monday night, 3 guys to watch for. The injury report is not out yet. It's the Bears at Los Angeles. So the Bears injury report's good. For the Rams, though, Darrell Henderson, Robert Woods, Tyler Higbee, thigh, groin, and hand issue, inflammation in the hand, they call it, so swollen hand apparently. But they didn't practice. Henderson and Higbee didn't practice Thursday or Friday. Woods was added to that list on Friday. They say it's just maintenance. Sean McVay says they're expected to play. You'll want to watch the late-breaking updates section to see what their official injury designations are. Might be questionable, so that'll be one to watch. It's going to be kind of a pain in the neck if you don't have fallback plans. So start thinking ahead on that one. There you have it. Again, watch the late-breaking update section for any new changes. Check the splash page of this video if you came to this, and you probably saw a note there if anything big has happened. So there's that. Also, check the staff rankings, and that'll give you the individual players. If you have any players in question you're looking for, there'll be links to all the latest information regarding that player. Also, tons of video content. We've got the Wednesday night DFS lineup video. You can watch replays of all these with Kyle Dvorak and Jason Brady. They kind of set the table. We have John Lobb's college football. And by the time we get all this done, by the end of the day, his DraftKings lineup video, my Ask Me Anything video, tons of stuff up there. Get the Football Diehards podcast as well. And then check out all the articles from the usual assortment. John Lobb, Kyle Dvorak, Justin Lanero, Brad Cruz, Gary Davenport, and some of the free agent articles early in the week from Evan Tarciano, Matthew Sharon. Plenty of content, so check it out. It's FootballDiehards.com. Listen to me on the pregame show Sunday morning, 2 hours leading up to kickoff on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. If you're watching this Saturday, I'll be on SiriusXM NFL and Fantasy Sports Radio, simulcasting from 8 to 11 p.m., so check that out as well. Good luck this week. We will get through this, people. Let's go.